No one took the crying bride at the station until a cowboy's son pointed, "That's my mama." The morning air at the small train station was cold and quiet, the kind of quiet that made every sound feel louder than it should. A single train had already left, and now only the wind moved across the empty platform. A young bride stood near an old wooden bench, holding a small suitcase in one hand and the edge of her dress in the other. Her white dress was no longer clean and bright. It was wrinkled from travel, and a little dust clung to the bottom. Her veil was folded and tucked into her bag as if she no longer had the strength to wear it. Her name was Lily, and she felt like her whole life had fallen apart in just a few days. She had come to this town because it was the last place she thought of when she wanted to disappear. She had left behind a wedding that never became a real marriage, a promise that turned into silence, and a future that suddenly felt empty. She had told herself that once she arrived here, things would make sense again. But now that she was standing on the platform with no one waiting for her, she felt smaller than she ever had before. People walked past her without stopping. A man carrying a toolbox nodded politely, but kept going. A woman with 2 children pulled them closer and hurried along. Lily tried to wipe her face, but the tears kept coming. She did not want to cry in front of strangers, but her heart felt too heavy to hold inside. She sat down on the bench, placed her suitcase at her feet, and looked at the tracks. The long metal lines stretched far into the distance, like they were leading somewhere she could not see. She thought about how she had gotten here. Just a week ago, she had been standing in a small church wearing this same dress, waiting for a man who promised to love her. But he never showed up. No phone call, no message, no explanation. The guests had whispered, the music had stopped, and Lily had stood alone at the front of the church, feeling like the whole world was watching her fall apart. After that day, she could not stay in her old town anymore. Every street, every shop, every face reminded her of what had been lost. So she packed a small bag, bought a ticket, and rode the train to this quiet place she had only seen on a map. Now she was here, and it felt like she had made a mistake. She did not know where she would sleep that night. She did not know who she would talk to. The town looked simple and slow, with a few small buildings and a long road that led toward open land. She wondered if she would ever belong here. A pickup truck pulled into the station parking area, breaking the stillness. The sound of the engine made Lily look up. The truck was dusty and old, the kind that had been driven on dirt roads for years. A man stepped out from the driver's side. He wore a worn jacket, boots covered in dry mud, and a hat that had clearly seen many sunny days. His face looked tired but kind, with lines that showed he had worked hard for most of his life. This man was named Daniel. He lived on a ranch just outside of town, and he had come to pick up supplies from the market nearby. In the passenger seat, a small boy climbed out after him. The boy was about 6 years old, with messy hair and curious eyes. His name was Noah, and he was always looking for something interesting in the world around him. Noah saw Lily before Daniel did. He stopped walking and stared at her from across the platform. He noticed her dress, her red eyes, and the way she held her suitcase, like it was the only thing keeping her steady. Something about her made his chest feel tight, even though he did not understand why. He took a few steps closer, then turned back to his father. "Papa," Noah said softly, tugging on Daniel's jacket. "Look, look." Daniel followed his son's gaze and saw the woman sitting alone on the bench. At first, he thought she was just another traveler waiting for someone. But then he saw the tears on her face and the way her shoulders shook as she tried to stay calm. He felt a pull in his heart, a reminder of how it felt to be alone. Daniel had been raising Noah by himself since the boy was a baby. His wife had passed away when Noah was too young to remember her. Life on the ranch had been hard, but they had managed together. Still, there were moments when the house felt too quiet, and Daniel wondered what it would be like to have someone there again. Noah did not wait for his father to move. He pointed straight at Lily, his small finger steady and sure. "That's my mama," he said, like it was the most natural thing in the world. Daniel froze. He looked down at Noah, confused and surprised. "What did you say?" he asked gently. Noah nodded, his eyes still on Lily. "That's my mama," he repeated. Daniel felt his heart skip. He knew it was not possible, but the way Noah said it, so calm and certain, made him pause. He looked back at Lily, trying to see if there was anything familiar about her. She looked up at that moment, and their eyes met across the space between them. Lily felt a strange feeling when she saw the man and the boy looking at her. The boy was pointing at her, and for a second she thought he might be making fun of her. But his face was not playful. It was serious and full of hope. She stood up slowly, not sure what was happening. Daniel took a step forward, then another. He did not know why he was walking toward her, only that he felt like he needed to. Noah held his hand tightly as they crossed the platform. When they stopped in front of Lily, there was a moment of silence. The wind moved her hair, and the boy's grip on his father's hand grew stronger. "I'm sorry," Daniel said at last, his voice low and careful. "My son says strange things sometimes. He thinks you're his mama." Lily's heart skipped at the word. "Mama!" She looked down at Noah, who was now staring up at her with wide, hopeful eyes. She did not know what to say. Her own dreams of being a mother had felt so far away after everything that had happened. Noah smiled at her, a small, gentle smile that made her chest feel warm. "You look like her," he said simply. Lily knelt down in front of him without thinking. "Like who?" she asked. "My mama," Noah said. "I don't remember her, but Papa says she was kind." Lily felt tears rise again, but this time they were different. She placed her hand over her heart. "I'm Lily," she said softly. "And I'm not your mama, but I'm glad you think I look kind." Daniel watched the two of them, feeling something shift inside him. He did not know why his son had been drawn to this woman, but he could see the loneliness in her eyes, the same kind he sometimes saw in his own reflection. "Do you have somewhere to go?" Daniel asked carefully. Lily shook her head. "Not yet." He looked at Noah, then back at her. "We live just outside of town. We have a spare room." "You're welcome to stay for a bit, if you want." Lily hesitated. Everything in her told her to be careful, but something about the boy's smile and the man's honest eyes made her feel safe. She took a slow breath and nodded. As they walked toward the truck together, Lily felt like her life had just taken a turn she never expected. She did not know where this path would lead, but for the first time since she stepped off the train, she did not feel completely alone. The drive from the train station to the ranch felt longer than Lily expected, even though the road was straight and open. The truck moved slowly over the dusty path, and the sound of the tires against the ground filled the quiet spaces between their thoughts. Lily sat in the back seat, holding her suitcase close to her chest, while Noah leaned forward from the front, turning around again and again to look at her. He did not say much at first. He just smiled, as if he was making sure she was still there. Lily found herself smiling back, even though she did not fully understand why this small boy made her feel so calm. Daniel kept his eyes on the road, but his mind was busy. He wondered if he had made the right choice by inviting a stranger into his home. He was not the kind of man who took risks with his son's safety. Still, something about Lily felt honest. He had seen the way she spoke to Noah, soft and careful, like she truly cared about what the boy felt. That mattered to him. The land around them slowly changed. Small buildings faded into wide fields, and the sky seemed to grow bigger with every mile. The ranch came into view as a simple house with a long wooden fence and a red barn standing nearby. A few horses moved slowly in the field, their shapes calm against the setting sun. Noah clapped his hands softly. "We're home," he said with excitement. Lily stepped out of the truck and looked around. The air smelled fresh, like grass and earth. The house was not big, but it looked warm and welcoming. A porch ran along the front, with a wooden chair and a small table. It felt like a place where time moved slowly and gently. Daniel carried Lily's suitcase inside, showing her a small room at the end of the hallway. The walls were light blue, and a window looked out over the field. The bed was simple but clean, with a folded blanket at the foot.
"You can stay here," Daniel said. "It's not much, but it's quiet."
Lily placed her suitcase on the floor and touched the blanket. "It's perfect," she said honestly. That evening, they shared a simple meal at the kitchen table. Daniel cooked soup and cut bread, while Noah set the table with care. Lily offered to help, but Daniel waved her to a chair. "You've had a long day," he said. Noah sat beside her, swinging his legs under the table. "Do you like soup?" he asked. "I do," Lily replied. He smiled wide as if she had given the best answer in the world. As they ate, the room filled with soft talk and small laughter. Daniel asked Lily where she came from, and she told him about her town, careful not to say too much about her past. She did not feel ready to open that part of her heart yet. After dinner, Noah showed Lily his favorite spot outside. They walked to a small tree near the fence, where the sky could be seen clearly through the branches.
"This is where I look at the stars," he said.
"Papa says my mama used to like the stars." Lily looked up, and for a moment, she forgot everything else. The sky was wide and deep, filled with tiny lights that seemed to stretch forever. "They're beautiful," she said softly. Noah nodded. "I think my mama is up there somewhere, watching me." Lily felt a gentle ache in her chest. She knelt beside him and placed a hand on his shoulder. "I think she would be very proud of you," she said. Daniel watched them from a short distance away, feeling something warm grow inside him. He had not seen Noah this calm and happy in a long time. That night, Lily lay in the small bed, staring at the ceiling. The quiet of the ranch was different from the quiet of the station. This quiet felt safe, like it was holding her instead of pushing her away. Still, her thoughts would not rest. She thought about the man who left her at the church. She wondered if he ever thought about her, if he felt any regret. The questions stayed in her mind, but they felt softer here, less sharp. In the morning, the sound of footsteps and soft laughter woke her. She got up and followed the noise to the kitchen, where Noah was trying to help Daniel make breakfast. He was cracking eggs with too much force, and Daniel was gently guiding his hands. "Good morning," Lily said. Noah turned and ran to her. "You stayed," he said, as if he had been worried she might disappear. "I did," Lily replied, smiling. They ate together again, and Lily found herself helping clean up without being asked. It felt natural, like she belonged there, even if only for a little while. Later that day, Daniel asked if she wanted to see the ranch. Lily agreed, and Noah insisted on coming too. They walked through the fields, Daniel pointing out the horses and the tools he used for work. Lily listened closely, enjoying the way he spoke about the land, like it was a part of him. At one point, Noah tripped over a small rock and fell. Lily rushed to him before Daniel could. She checked his knee, brushing off the dirt and blowing on it softly.
"You're okay," she said. Noah nodded, even though his eyes were watery.
He wrapped his arms around her in a quick hug. Daniel stopped and watched them, feeling his chest tighten. He realized how natural it looked, the two of them together, like they had always been part of the same story. That afternoon, a truck drove up to the fence. A woman stepped out, carrying a basket. She was Daniel's neighbor, Mrs. Carter, who often checked in on them. "Well, hello," she said, smiling. Then she saw Lily. "And who is this?" Daniel introduced her, explaining that Lily was staying for a while. Mrs. Carter looked at Lily with kind eyes. "It's good to see a new face around here," she said. As the day went on, Lily felt both welcome and unsure. She liked the ranch, the boy, and the man who had opened his door to her. But she also felt a shadow behind her, a reminder that she had come from somewhere, and that part of her life was not finished yet. That evening, as the sun went down, Lily stood on the porch alone. The sky turned soft shades of orange and purple. Daniel joined her, standing a little distance away.
"Thank you," Lily said quietly.
"For letting me stay." Daniel nodded. "We're glad to have you." They stood there in silence, watching the last light fade. Neither of them said what they were really thinking. Lily wondered how long she could stay before her past came looking for her. Daniel wondered how much it would hurt when she eventually left. Inside the house, Noah looked out the window at the two of them, smiling to himself. To him, it already felt like the ranch was fuller than it had been in a long time. The next morning began with soft sunlight slipping through the kitchen window and touching the wooden table. Lily stood at the sink, washing a cup, while Noah sat nearby, drawing on a piece of paper with colored pencils. Daniel was outside, checking the fence near the field. The house felt calm, like it had found a steady rhythm that did not rush or push. Lily had been at the ranch for several days now. Each day felt both new and familiar, like she was slowly stepping into a life she had never planned but somehow needed. She helped with small tasks around the house, like folding clothes, sweeping the floor, and setting the table. She did not do it because anyone asked her to. She did it because it made her feel useful, like she was part of something again. Noah had grown attached to her in a way that surprised both Lily and Daniel. He followed her from room to room, asking questions about everything. He wanted to know where she learned to cook, why her hair curled at the ends, and what her favorite story was when she was a child. Lily answered each question with a smile, enjoying the way his curiosity filled the quiet spaces. That afternoon, Daniel asked Lily if she wanted to ride one of the horses. She hesitated, admitting she had never been on one before. Daniel smiled gently and told her he would walk beside her the whole time. Noah jumped up and down with excitement, clapping his hands as if this was the best idea he had ever heard. They went to the barn, where the smell of hay and warm wood filled the air. Daniel chose a calm, slow-moving horse and helped Lily climb up carefully. He held the reins, guiding the horse as they walked across the field. Lily felt nervous at first, gripping the saddle tightly, but as the horse moved slowly and steadily, her fear faded. The wind brushed against her face and she laughed, a sound that surprised even herself. Noah ran alongside them, pretending he was riding an invisible horse of his own. He shouted stories about being a brave hero in a wide open land. Lily listened, smiling, feeling lighter than she had in a long time. Later, as they rested under a tree, Daniel sat on the grass while Noah lay back, looking at the sky. Lily stood nearby, holding a bottle of water. "I don't remember my mama's face," Noah said suddenly, "but I remember Papa saying she used to laugh a lot." Daniel looked at his son, a shadow crossing his eyes for just a moment. "She did," he said quietly. Lily felt a gentle pull in her heart. She sat down beside Noah and looked up at the sky with him. "Laughter is a good thing to leave behind," she said softly. It stays even when people go. Noah nodded, thinking about her words. He reached out and held Lily's hand, like it was the most natural thing in the world. That evening, a letter arrived in the mail. Lily saw the envelope on the table when she came inside. Her name was written on the front in a handwriting she recognized instantly. Her chest tightened, and her hands began to shake. Daniel noticed her change in expression. "Is everything okay?" he asked. Lily picked up the letter but did not open it. "It's from someone I used to know," she said carefully. She took the letter to her room and sat on the bed, staring at it for a long time before finally tearing it open. Inside, the words were short and simple. The man who had left her at the church was asking where she was. He said he wanted to explain. He said he wanted to see her. Lily felt a storm of emotions rise inside her. Part of her wanted answers. Another part of her wanted to run even farther away. She folded the letter and placed it in her bag, unsure of what she would do. At dinner, she tried to act normal, but Noah noticed her quiet mood. "You don't look happy," he said, looking at her with concern. Lily forced a small smile.
"I'm just tired," she replied. Daniel watched her closely but did not press her.
He could tell something was weighing on her, and he knew that pushing too hard would only make her pull away. That night, Lily could not sleep. She lay awake, listening to the soft sounds of the ranch, the wind outside, the creak of the house, and the distant call of a nightbird filled the darkness. Her thoughts kept returning to the letter. In the morning, she made a decision. She would not answer it yet. She would not let her past pull her back before she was ready. The days passed, and life at the ranch continued. Lily and Daniel began to talk more, sharing small pieces of their stories. Daniel told her about how he grew up on the same land, how his father had taught him to care for the animals and respect the earth. Lily told him about her childhood, how she loved to read by the window and dream about places she might go one day. One afternoon, a sudden storm rolled in. Dark clouds covered the sky, and rain began to fall hard and fast. Lily and Noah were outside when it started. They ran toward the house, laughing as the rain soaked their clothes. Inside, they dried off with towels, and Noah made a game out of shaking water from his hair like a dog. Lily laughed so hard her sides hurt. Daniel watched them, leaning against the doorframe. He felt a warmth in his chest that he had not felt in a long time. The house no longer felt empty. It felt alive. That evening, Daniel found Lily sitting on the porch, looking out at the wet fields. "You've been quiet today," he said, sitting beside her. Lily took a deep breath. "There's something I should tell you," she said. She explained about the letter and the man from her past. She told him how she felt lost and unsure about what to do. Daniel listened without interrupting. When she finished, he nodded slowly.
"You don't owe anyone a part of your life if you're not ready to give it," he said. "You deserve peace, Lily."
"However you find it." His words touched her more than she expected. She felt seen, not judged. Inside, Noah watched them through the window again. He did not understand everything the adults talked about, but he knew one thing. When Lily was around, his home felt brighter. As the night settled over the ranch, Lily realized something important. She had come here to disappear, but instead, she had been found. Not in a loud or dramatic way, but in quiet moments, in shared meals, in small hands holding hers. She did not know what the future would bring. The letter in her bag was still there, waiting. But for now, she allowed herself to stay in this moment, in this place, with these two people who had opened their lives to her. The morning came with a pale light that spread slowly across the fields, touching the grass and the fence with a soft glow. Lily stood by the window in her room, watching the world wake up. The letter was still in her bag, folded and hidden, but its weight felt heavy in her thoughts. She took a deep breath and told herself that today would be a good day. She did not want the past to decide how she felt in the present. In the kitchen, Daniel was already awake, making coffee and slicing bread. Noah sat at the table, building a small tower from pieces of toast. When Lily walked in, Noah smiled so wide that one of his toast pieces fell over. "Good morning," he said happily. "Good morning," Lily replied, ruffling his hair. They ate together, talking about small things. Noah talked about a dream where he flew over the ranch, like a bird. Daniel talked about a fence that needed fixing on the far side of the field. Lily listened, enjoying the simple rhythm of their voices. After breakfast, Daniel asked Lily if she wanted to ride with him to town. He needed to pick up supplies, and he thought it would be good for her to get out and see more of the place. Lily agreed, even though her heart beat a little faster at the thought of being around people again. The drive was quiet but comfortable. Noah hummed a tune in the back seat, making up words that made no sense but made Lily smile. When they reached town, Daniel parked near the small market. The street was lined with simple shops and a few people walking slowly, greeting each other by name. Inside the market, Lily felt a strange mix of nerves and curiosity. She followed Daniel down the aisles, helping him pick out food and tools. The shop owner smiled at them and asked if Lily was new in town. Lily nodded, and the woman welcomed her warmly. As they were about to leave, Lily felt a sudden chill. She turned and saw a man standing near the door. He was taller than she remembered, or maybe she had just changed. His hair was neat, his clothes clean and pressed. It was the man from her past. For a moment, the world felt like it stopped. The sounds of the market faded, and all Lily could hear was her own heartbeat. He saw her, too. His eyes widened, and he took a step toward her.
"Lily," he said softly. Daniel noticed her freeze.
He followed her gaze and saw the man. He did not know who he was, but he could tell from Lily's face that this meeting was not a simple one. He placed a gentle hand on her back, not pushing, not pulling, just there. The man looked at Daniel, then at Noah, who was holding Lily's hand. Confusion crossed his face. "I've been looking for you," he said to Lily. "I didn't know where you went." Lily felt her throat tighten. She took a slow breath. "I needed space," she replied. "I needed to find myself again." The man nodded, looking down for a moment. "I made a mistake," he said. "I was scared, and I ran. I shouldn't have." Lily listened, but the words did not hit her the way she thought they would. She had imagined this moment so many times, filled with anger or tears, but now she felt calm, almost distant. Daniel stayed quiet, letting Lily speak for herself. Noah looked between the two adults, sensing the tension but not understanding it. "I'm glad you said that," Lily said finally, "but I'm not the same person I was back then. I'm not waiting anymore." The man looked surprised. "I came here to ask you to come back," he said. "To start over." Lily shook her head gently. "I don't think that's what I need." There was a long pause. The man sighed and nodded. "I hope you find what you're looking for," he said. Lily watched him walk out of the market, his footsteps fading into the noise of the street. She felt a mix of relief and sadness, but also a sense of strength. She had faced the past and did not let it pull her back. Daniel looked at her. "Are you okay?" he asked. Lily nodded. "I am now." The ride back to the ranch was quiet. Noah leaned against Lily's shoulder and fell asleep. Daniel drove, giving her space to think. When they reached home, Lily carried Noah inside and laid him on the couch with a blanket. She watched him for a moment, his face peaceful, his small hand still holding the edge of her sleeve. That afternoon, Lily walked alone through the field. The grass brushed against her legs, and the sky stretched wide above her. She thought about everything that had happened since she arrived at the station. She had come here feeling broken and lost. Now she felt stronger, like she had found a piece of herself she thought was gone. Daniel joined her after a while. They walked, side by side, not speaking at first. "You don't have to talk about it," he said finally. "But if you want to, I'm here." Lily appreciated that he did not push. "It was the man I was supposed to marry," she said. "He left, and I thought that meant something was wrong with me. But today, I realize that sometimes people leave because they're not ready, not because you're not enough." "That's true," he said. They stopped near the fence, looking out at the land. "I don't know what I'm doing here," Lily admitted. "I didn't plan for any of this." Daniel looked at her, his eyes kind and steady. "Sometimes the best things aren't planned," he said. "They just happen." Their eyes met, and for a moment the world felt very still. That evening they cooked dinner together. Noah helped by washing vegetables and telling stories about his day, even though they had been together the whole time. The kitchen filled with warmth and the smell of food. After dinner, Noah brought out a small photo from a drawer. It was a picture of him as a baby, held by a woman with a gentle smile. "This is my mama," he said, showing it to Lily. Lily knelt beside him and looked at the photo. "She looks very kind," she said. "She is," Noah replied. "But I think she sent you." Lily felt her eyes fill, and she hugged him gently. Later that night, Lily sat on her bed, looking at the letter one last time. She folded it carefully and placed it in a small box at the bottom of her bag. It did not hold power over her anymore. It was just a part of her story, not the end of it. Outside, the wind moved through the trees, and the stars shone softly in the sky. Lily felt a quiet peace settle in her heart. She did not know what tomorrow would bring, but she knew she was no longer running. In the living room, Daniel sat in his chair thinking about the day. He thought about Lily's strength, the way she had stood up for herself. He felt proud of her, even though he had only known her for a short time. Noah slept soundly in his room, clutching his favorite toy. In his dreams, he saw Lily and Daniel standing beside him, smiling. The ranch felt calm and full, like it was holding something new and hopeful within its simple walls. And as the night grew deeper, Lily felt certain of one thing. She had found more than a place to stay. She had found a place where her heart could rest. The days after Lily met the man from her past felt different. Lighter in a way she had not expected. The ranch seemed brighter, even though nothing around it had changed. The same field stretched wide, the same fence stood strong, and the same quiet mornings greeted the sun. But inside Lily, something had settled. She no longer felt like she was standing on shaky ground. One morning, Lily woke up before anyone else. She stepped outside onto the porch and wrapped her arms around herself as the cool air touched her skin. The sky was soft and pale, and the land was quiet except for the distant sound of a horse moving slowly through the field. She breathed deeply and smiled. For the first time in a long while, she was not thinking about running away or starting over somewhere else. She was thinking about staying. Daniel came out a few minutes later, carrying 2 cups of coffee. He handed one to Lily without a word and stood beside her. They watched the sunrise together, comfortable in the silence.
"You seem peaceful," Daniel said at last.
"I feel peaceful," Lily replied. "I didn't know if that feeling would ever come back." Daniel nodded. I didn't either, once. They stood there until Noah burst through the door, full of energy as always. He ran straight to Lily and hugged her waist tightly. "You're still here," he said, like it was the best news of the day. Lily laughed softly and hugged him back. "I am." Later that day, Lily decided to visit the small town on her own. She wanted to prove something to herself, that she could walk through the world without fear again. Daniel offered to come with her, but she gently shook her head. "I'll be okay," she said. The town greeted her kindly. People smiled and nodded, and the shop owner asked how she was settling in. Lily realized that she was no longer just passing through. She was becoming part of the place. When she returned to the ranch, Noah ran to meet her at the gate. "I told Papa you'd come back," he said proudly. That night, as they sat around the table, Lily felt something rise in her chest. She set her fork down and took a breath. "There's something I want to talk about," she said. Daniel and Noah looked at her, listening. "I don't know how long I was supposed to stay here," Lily continued, "but I know how long I want to stay." Noah's eyes widened. "Forever?" he asked hopefully. Lily smiled at him. "I don't know about forever, but I want to stay. If that's okay." Daniel's heart beat faster, but he kept his voice calm.
"You're welcome here," he said, "as long as you want." Noah jumped out of his chair and ran around the room, cheering.
I knew it! I knew it!
He shouted. That night, Lily lay in bed, staring at the ceiling, feeling something new settle into her heart. It was not fear or doubt. It was trust. The weeks passed and life at the ranch found a steady rhythm. Lily began helping Daniel more with the daily work, learning how to care for the animals and fix small things around the house. She surprised herself with how much she enjoyed the simple tasks. They made her feel strong and capable. Daniel noticed the change in her too. "Bah!" She laughed more easily now. Her eyes held light instead of worry. He found himself looking forward to the sound of her footsteps in the house, the way she hummed while cooking, the way she listened when he spoke. One evening, after Noah had gone to bed, Daniel and Lily sat on the porch again. The sky was full of stars, bright and endless. "I never asked," Daniel said quietly. "What made you get on that train?" Lily thought for a moment. "I felt like I had no place to stand. Everything I believed in fell apart, and I thought leaving was the only way to survive."
"And now?" Daniel asked. "And now," she said softly, "I know that sometimes life breaks so it can be rebuilt better." Daniel looked at her, his chest full.
"I'm glad that train stopped here," he said. Lily smiled. "Me too." A few days later, Noah came home from school quieter than usual. Lily noticed right away and knelt in front of him. "What's wrong?" she asked. A boy at school had asked him why he did not have a mama. Noah had not known what to say. He looked down at his shoes, his voice small as he explained. Lily felt a gentle ache in her heart. She took his hands in hers. "Families can look different," she said. "What matters is love." That night, as Lily tucked him into bed, he looked up at her seriously. "Can I call you Mama?" he asked. Lily froze for a moment. The word felt heavy, full of meaning and responsibility. She looked at Daniel, who stood quietly in the doorway, giving her space. Lily knelt beside Noah and brushed his hair gently. "If that's what feels right to you," she said carefully, "you can." Noah smiled the biggest smile she had ever seen. "Good night, Mama," he said. Lily's eyes filled with tears as she kissed his forehead. "Good night," she whispered. After Noah fell asleep, Lily sat alone for a long time, letting the moment settle. She was not replacing anyone. She was stepping into a role that life had gently offered her. Daniel joined her in the living room. "Are you okay?" he asked softly. Lily nodded. I've never been more sure of anything. Time continued to move forward, steady and kind. Lily officially moved her things into the room, unpacking the last of her suitcase. The wedding dress was folded carefully and placed away. It no longer carried pain. It was simply part of her journey. One afternoon, Daniel took Lily and Noah back to the train station. The same platform stood quiet under the open sky. Lily stepped out of the truck and looked around. This is where we met, Noah said. Lily smiled. Yes, it is. She walked to the bench where she had once cried alone. Now she stood tall, her heart full. Daniel stood beside her, Noah holding both their hands. I don't feel sad here anymore, Lily said. I feel grateful. Daniel squeezed her hand. So do I. As the sun lowered, Noah pointed at Lily again, just like he had on that first day. But this time, his voice was full of joy. That's my mama, he said. Lily laughed through happy tears. Daniel smiled, his heart finally at peace. They walked back to the truck together, not as strangers brought together by chance, but as a family shaped by kindness, patience, and courage. The ranch welcomed them home once more, the fields glowing softly under the evening sky. Lily stood on the porch later that night, watching the stars, feeling complete. She had not been chosen at a station by accident. She had been found exactly where she needed to be.